Hey, George Donald here. I wanted to take a minute to share something with you called the Wright Developmental Model. It is a consciousness tool that we can use at any point in our day, in any of our conversations. It's something I use a great deal in coaching. So what this is, the Wright Developmental Model, is it takes existential philosophy, existential principles, combining it with emotional intelligence, so our core emotions, and the developmental psychology of every human being. We're always developing. Development does not have to stop at adulthood. So, how this works is, let's say you get an email in your inbox from your boss or supervisor saying, hey, you did something wrong, or we need you to get on this ASAP. In that moment, especially most of us guys, but probably everybody, feels a rush of feelings. Typically, I might feel angry in that moment, and that could show up as a quick email back that isn't really in rapport, or maybe I just avoid it, so I go passive aggressive with the anger and I don't do anything. And what the developmental model helps me do is to recognize what's going on deeper in that moment. So there's the primary 3 levels in the developmental model. And first one is about fear, second one hurt, third one anger. So we're talking about anger. So I feel the anger of like, screw you, I don't want to do this. Then right underneath that, if I'm feeling anger, I know that I'm also feeling hurt and fear. So with hurt, in that moment I think, oh shoot, I'm alone in this. I have to come up with all of this by myself. That ties into fear as well. I'm alone and on my own. What do? Now that I have more information about why I'm feeling angry, because I'm also feeling hurt and afraid, it helps me come up with better solutions to whatever the situation is. In this case, we're talking about an email. So if I can get in touch with that hurt and that fear, the beliefs about, oh no, I'm on my own, then I have a little more consciousness and I can say, wait a minute. You know what, I actually need to reach out to this colleague to check on this to see if I can enroll them in helping me on this. Can sit back a little bit to more effectively respond to that email, more effectively go forward. So this is happening all the time. Now, we're talking about this cognitively right now. The reason why the emotional intelligence part of this, the feeling the fear, hurt, anger, is so important is because feelings happen in the here and now. We can talk about this, it's a great idea, but it doesn't necessarily have any impact for you then. So we do this training, men's basic training, all of our trainings in coaching sessions with me. If you've ever done a coaching session with me, I ask you how you're feeling a lot. The reason for that is so that you're more present and the decisions that you're making, the solutions you're coming up with in that moment have way more of a chance of sticking than if we only talk about the cognitive aspect of things. We need to bring the heart and the mind together in order for this to be effective. So, on the men's basic training that we have coming up, we go deep into each one of these levels. Level 1 that has to do with the existential principle of aliveness, the feeling of fear, and then the choice to trust. Helps us look where to trust that makes more sense. We act on impulse so often, and we're so often out of touch with our hurt and our fear, that we're not nearly as effective as we could be. So then we spend a big chunk of time on level 1, fear, aliveness, trust. Then we move into hurt. And this is an interesting one. This is the superpower. Guys, getting in touch with our hurt is so important. We're centuries of being trained to not feel our hurt. And so now if I can look at that and I can feel the hurt that I feel, in that example of the email, if I'm out of touch with my hurt, I'm not aware that I'm feeling hurt, chances are is that I'm going to put that hurt back to somebody else, to my boss, supervisor, or colleague. I'll communicate with them in such a way that they feel the hurt that I am denying. So instead of doing that, if I can own the hurt that I feel in that situation of an email, oh no, I'm on my own, nobody cares about me, or why didn't they think I have so much on my plate, whatever, all of those things may be true. That it's not saying that there's not truth, that, you know, we're not stretched for time, blah, blah, blah. But if I can acknowledge that I feel hurt, then I am much more likely to respond to somebody in rapport. Rather than pushing that hurt onto them, I'm able to say, wow, you know, I'm feeling afraid, kind of hurt about this. I'd really like your help with it. See, there's a little more vulnerability there. I'm not pushing it off, making somebody wrong about, hey, why didn't you let me know, blah, 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 whatever. You can kind of, I hope you can, you're picturing this for yourself. So then, now we're up at level 3, anger. That has to do with assertion. Using my anger in a way that is generative, that's good, rather than pushing people away, drawing people in closer to work with me on something. Then I can use my anger in an effective way. When I've got level 1 fear, aliveness, trust, level 2 affirmation, hunger needs, feeling hurt. When I've got that integrated into level 3, then I can do something more effective, more in rapport with people. So, like I was saying, we're doing this training where we go on a deep dive into this. It's men's basic training. It's like the boot camp for emotional intelligence for guys. So if you're interested in learning more, check out the link I've provided to the men's basic training. And if not, take this with you, this developmental consciousness tool. Next time you feel angry, give yourself a little bit of room to notice if you're feeling hurt and scared about something as well. And just that noticing will help you be more effective in how you respond. All right, be in touch.